Hello and welcome to today's episode of Turtleneck Tabletalk, the podcast that seeks insightful conversations while promoting the growth of our community. I'm Devin, and this is Austin, and we are your hosts, and we are excited to be continuing our series where we highlight something that is near and dear to us, rugby.
That's right. And kick off our Wichita Barbarians men's team interview for this season, we have in the chair, second to my right, 5'10", 190, a D1 track superstar, as well as a Wichita Barbarian for life. Assumingly. We'll see how far we get. I don't think anyone can do it their entire life. But we have JD Prinslo. Thank you for coming on, JD. We appreciate having you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
That was a great intro.
It was all right.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
sponsored by Diet Mountain Dew, so
Oh,
assumedly. I think the brand deals come in after you introduce the brand on your podcast. I'm not sure how it works.
maybe.
Are we gonna get a teeth list? Teeth list?
Shoot for the moon.
Shoot for
land
the
among
moon.
the stars.
Yes, look at that. Already dropping knowledge.
Dropping gems
We're not even
already,
a minute
dude.
into the conversation.
This is
and
why we
already-
appreciate JD, man. Dude, thanks for coming, dude. We got a lot to get into. We got, your athletic background, your homeland, coming into rugby over here. And I'm excited for the guests to hear your journey, as well as hear it for myself, maybe the details we haven't gone into. So
Yeah, get into the nitty gritty. So
Absolutely.
just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself for the people who don't know you.
My name is JD Prinslo. I'm 23 years old. I come from Johannesburg, South Africa, in a little suburb just about 10, 15 minutes south called Alberton. And sport's been my whole life. Came to the U.S. because of sport and still here. Probably just because of sport. So, that's pretty much a little bit about me. Went to Wichita State for my degree and got a degree in sport management there and graduated last year. And then started playing rugby with the boys.
Yes, sir, dude. No, it was awesome to see you out for the first time because we knew you were a D1 track athlete.
Track star.
Track star.
Track star.
What did you run when you were in track
So
here?
my track career, growing up back home, you start from an early age. You start doing track, and I used to always be distance. I would run
Gross.
the 800 and
Yeah.
the 1500 and the 1200 in the early stages, and I never liked that. Never really enjoyed that at all. And so I turned to a sprinter eventually, and my main focus was the 400. And so that's what I came here for track, was for the 400 meter. Got a scholarship at WSU to run there and did 5 years of D1 track there. So
Yeah, dude.
the 400, it sucks. But there's nothing like it. Really nothing like it.
Yeah, I would if I had to rank like the worst, like top 3 worst events, it'd probably be like 800, 400, and
I think Orange is right up there. Yeah.
somewhere in that like mid distance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So shout out to you for that.
Yeah, because it takes a certain kind of athlete to do that. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's,
One who probably reads like David Goggins' books. And stuff. I don't know.
carry the boats. Yeah, it's not a sprint and it's not a distance race. You can't jog it.
Yeah.
You can't sprint it the whole way. You're supposed to. It's something that's really, really special. You kind of have to find a balance, and the 400 is a killer. That's for sure.
Yeah. What was Bill Bowerman, right? The Oregon track coach. He was a legend for co-founding Nike, but he was a track coach before that, and he was like had a crazy philosophy of like run the first leg as fast as you can, then double the speed on the next leg, and then give it all you got on the last leg.
And it progressively gets slower.
Yeah, that was his philosophy. I wonder if you took any of that into your.
That's kind of the mentality when you run the 400.
Yeah.
It just progressively gets worse, and it hurts more and more and more, and that's all in the span of sub 50 seconds. So it's really tough. I was never a good starter. Like I said, I came from a distance background, so my starts were never up there. I was never fast enough out of the blocks, but I was always confident that my last 200, my last second half of the race was I'm going to be the strongest there. I'm going to really try and do that. And with indoor, it matters so much because it's a 200-meter track, so you go around twice instead of outdoor where it's just one lap. And so you cut in on indoor, and so where you cut in, that's kind of where you're going to finish because it's hard to come around someone. And so that first 200 matters a lot. And for me, that was my downfall. I really struggled to get out fast, but I could finish hard. So I always found myself in the back of the pack trying to catch up on indoor. And so it was never my favorite part of track, but it was such good workouts and practice and preparation for outdoor. And so I was grateful, but I never enjoyed it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel that.
So
Yeah. That's reflection on the career there. But yeah, no, because you started out in South Africa. Track wasn't always the main goal of, doing sports, was it?
No, not at all. Yeah. Growing up in South Africa, we have certain sports that are just near and dear to our heart, and rugby being one of those. We obviously have a rich history in our rugby, and it's just part of our culture, part of our community. And so once you're old enough to start running around, your dad puts a rugby ball in your hand. And so I've played rugby since I was a little boy, 7 years old, bare feet out on the grass. So rugby was a big part of that. I always did track growing up, but it was always just every year you do track and then you do rugby. And then eventually we added cricket to the range as well. Played a little bit of cricket growing up and got to high school, and I had so many sports I was taking part of. I had to really kind of shuffle a few out, and so I quit cricket, went to high school and played rugby, did track, and played golf. And so those were kind of my three main sports growing up. Golf was also a near and dear sport to me. My parents used to be big road cyclists, and that eventually got a little dangerous on the roads. And so they had me and my older brother, and they decided, let's pick up a sport we can play together. And we picked up golf. So our whole family plays golf. Perfect 4-ball every Sunday. We play golf.
Nice.
So I've been playing golf since I was a little kid and competed in golf tournaments at a young age as well. So that's also a sport that I think if there was one that I could put my money on at a young age, I was like, I'm gonna play big golf one day. That's going to be it. And then as you grow up, you realize, wow, it is such a small margin of people that are able to make a living out of playing professional golf. It's scary. It's really, really scary. But nonetheless, it was always a sport that matched my schedule. So I always kept playing golf. And then, got to a point in my track career where rugby was such a big part of my life. I really enjoyed playing rugby and learning and trying to play at a provincial level, where it got dangerous and my track really started to pick up. And so I started focusing on track and field and turned into a sprinter. I got a new coach. He was phenomenal, turned me from a distance athlete to a sprinter within a year. And I ran the 400 for the first time, and I ran like a 53 seconds at the age of 15, which is, it's not great, but it's not bad.
I was put it in a scope. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not. It's really not. Like I would say it's pretty much par standard for your normal track meets, but it's not. You're not going to go to nationals or, run in big meets or be a part of bigger things. And so within a year, I was really focusing on turning myself into a sprinter. And I
think
broke.
that was a big undersell right there, but I'm just gonna let it slide.
He's
I don't remember
modest.
running. I don't remember running like under a minute for a 400.
It's tough, but yeah. And then within my first year, we kind of have this we don't have indoor and outdoor like the U.S. has. We only have outdoor, and so our season usually starts in the beginning of the year, so February-ish. So we have preseason meets in August and November, those time frames, where you compete in maybe 1, 2, 3 meets to kind of just see where you're at with training. It's nothing big. It's usually just shaking some rust off. And then you go into the summer because we're Southern Hemisphere. And so we we ran in that preseason meets after a year of training, and anyone that has ran the 400 will tell you that there's a benchmark. That 50 seconds is a benchmark, and as soon as you break that, that's when you kind of start getting serious about it. It's like, wow, like, I broke that 50-second mark. And so in my preseason meet in Potchefstroom, if there's any South Africans watching, I ran at the Bucket Top 30 meet, and I broke the 50-second mark. I think I ran a 49.6 or something like that, and I was ecstatic. I mean, I was barely 16. I think I may have been 15 at the time. I broke that mark, and I was like, wow, this is it. And so that year, it really just excelled. My grade 10 year, that's what I kind of figured, wow, I can make a living out of track, getting a degree out of it, and maybe pursuing a track career overseas. And so within that first year, I went to nationals. I ran in the nationals final, and I ran a 47.5 at the age of 16. So I dropped about 6 seconds almost in a year. And I was like, wow, this is it. I can do this. And I got the opportunity to go overseas. I ran international track meet and really started to focus on track and quit rugby. Immediately quit rugby at that point. I couldn't risk playing a contact sport and getting injured when I can have this ability. And so immediately quit playing rugby, focused on track and golf, and that's pretty much all I did. Now, with that said, I had a few very angry rugby coaches at my high school, and they pressured me up until I graduated, essentially. It was every year, it's like, oh, are you coming back to play rugby? Or, no, coach, I can't. And so, yeah, that's kind of what led to me coming to the U.S. And, yeah, completely quit playing rugby for a good amount of time.
Just left a bit of that heart melt off, you know.
Yeah.
Like a little ice cream.
You leave it behind.
A little tub of ice cream.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
I don't know what kind of ice cream y'all prefer down in South Africa. Probably just like chocolate and vanilla, but you
Cold
know.
ice cream.
Just cold. Not half melted ice cream as compared to JD's heart. But anyway. Yeah. And then you ended up choosing Wichita State. One word question, why?
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. I like Wichita State.
Yeah,
It is. I mean, you have the whole scope of the U.S. Why Wichita? Well, my mom's old work colleague, he's been just one of the most biggest supporters I've ever had. He had no reason to be as big of a supporter as he was. But he just backed me from the start. If I had sport, he would always send me a message the morning of, hey, good luck. And he used to work for a guy, he just worked for a guy. His name's Werner Bueta, and he ran at WSU in the early 2000s, late 90s. Werner went on to run at the Sydney Olympics in the early 2000s in the 800 after he graduated at WSU. So we had a direct line of contact, and so when he found out that I really want to go to the U.S. and pursue a degree over here and run track at a high level, he was like, I'll put you in touch with the head coaches. And so we did. We got in touch with the head coaches at WSU, and they immediately responded, and we kind of didn't know what to expect. So we did send out, my resume to other places and got some feedback. But, yeah, WSU just immediately responded. I think this was around about the summer of 2019, and set up a Zoom call, which is a really funny story. So, obviously, big time zone difference.
Yeah.
Now I have to meet with these head coaches from Wichita State's track and field program. South Africa at the time, I know our house didn't have the best Wi-Fi. We were still introducing fiber at that time.
Oh, okay.
So to get like a good download speed, we couldn't risk doing the phone call at our house. So we drove to my mom's work at, it was like 7, 8, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
to do a Zoom call with the WSU head coaches in her office, because the Wi-Fi was just better there. I mean, It was just way corporate-styled Wi-Fi. So, yeah, we drove all the way over there, set up a call with them. And so how the school year works in South Africa is you start in January. It's calendar, so you start January and you end in December. So you guys start in August.
Yeah.
Because your summer is June, July. Our summer is in December, January. So it's kind of, ours is calendar year. So you finish school in December. So that's the year, that's my matric year. I'm 18, senior year. I'm about to graduate. My plan is to hopefully go to the U.S. And so the initial plan was graduate in December, take 8 months to just prep as the best as you possibly can, take a break from school, just do track for 8 months straight, and then come in August. And we're ready to roll into the U.S. schooling system, and everything works out. Well, the coaches said, no, we want you in January to start indoor. I was like, what? So I was going to be a mid-year. So there's a lot that goes into that. You have to write SATs to even qualify to come to the U.S. to get a visa. I still need to finish my senior certificate for high school. And so they were like, we'll offer you this scholarship. We really want you to start in January. I said, okay, well, I'll try my best. Let's do it. So I graduated in December. January 7th, I got my not my certificate even, just my report, so my grades. They released that on the 7th. You go and pick that up from your school. On the 8th, I was on a flight to the U.S. So it was really, there was no time to waste.
Jeez.
So with that said, there was a lot of stuff I had to offer up. Being 18, so drinking age in South Africa is 18, so everyone's aware. So your
Get it all in.
Your matric year, your senior year is kind of one big party at the end. You know, you're done with high school. You've done 12 years of school. You turn 18. It's kind of like, here's your keys and here's a bottle of alcohol. Like, be safe. You know, make good choices. So we have this tradition in South Africa. After you write your last exam, there's a matric vac, so vacation. And so all the students go and pretty much go to the coast, and there's just these festivals and parties. It's like spring break in the movies here. That's kind of what it looks like, and it's just a bunch of 18-year-olds getting too drunk, pretty much. But that's something you look forward to. Right? You hear all these stories, people that go to these festivals, and it's like the time of your life. I couldn't do any of that because I only had limited time left with my family, and I still had to prep and get stuff ready and train. Going out and partying for a week was quite a setback. So I didn't have any of that. We also have our prom is only limited to your seniors, so your matrics. They can bring a date, but you can't be like grade 11 attending the matric farewell, if that makes sense. And so it's only your graduating class. They have matric farewell, and it's super bougie back home. Everyone rents these supercars. You pull up with like the nicest car you can find with your date. You get out, you walk this red carpet into the event, and then the school hosts this dinner where they thank you, and you guys have a dance, and then everyone kind of rushes through that because they want to go to the after party. So then everyone goes to these after parties. I mean, nightclubs and this and that. And so that was another thing. I never had that. The next morning, so we had our matric farewell on the Friday night. At Saturday at 7:30 a.m., I had my SATs I had to write. So I rushed through the event with everyone and then went home to sleep because I had to write the exam that gets me into the U.S. that morning. So there's a few things that I had to offer up to be able to come to the U.S. But, man, the experience and the coaching and the facilities and just the professionalism that I experienced in college compared to what you would back home is it's unreal. I mean, you can't compare it. There's just certain budgets that don't allow for that, you know. So yeah, it's kind of how I got to the U.S. And
a lot of sacrifice.
It was a lot of sacrifice, but it was worth every second of it, man. The track career I had at WSU is phenomenal. I had my ups and downs. Did it go as planned? Absolutely not. But it was a good time. I met some really good people throughout my journey, and so we won 2 championships, outdoor championships with the team as well, which was bizarre. So I was really happy with my track career.
Made the most of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Gotta a lot of cool relationships out of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
did. Definitely did.
Yeah. Yeah, and ended up coming into rugby in the last year. Oh, wait, I probably can't say that with the coaches if they're listening.
No,
JD
that's-
possibly did or did not go to rugby practice during his final year.
Yeah, we can't confirm or deny.
Or
No, it's. I'm sure they know. I was.
What did you tell them? You didn't tell them.
They knew. No, I mean, I'm sure they can put one and one together. It's just, I have such a passion for rugby. I've
Yeah.
always had a passion for rugby, and so once you quit that part of your life and you move overseas, and then suddenly your rugby team, I'm biased, becomes the world's best.
Oh, your camera's right there, by the
For
way.
years and years and years. You know, that's just you miss that piece of home. And so I have to watch a Rugby World Cup without any family, without any friends, and it's
Like 10 a.m. in the morning.
10 a.m. in
Yeah.
the morning, 1-point wins in the knockout stages. Like, there's just this part of you that you miss. And so I used to work at the Heskett. It's our indoor recreational center. And I would be lead at night because I'll have class in the morning, track and field in the afternoon, and then at night I go do a few hour shift at the Heskett and lock up. And I'd always have a rugby ball, just walking around the Heskett with a rugby ball, passing it around. And I'd show up to track practice with a rugby ball and just passing it around with some friends. And so the coaches were always like, man, what are you doing? And I even invited some of my track friends to come play a little bit of touch rugby with us on the weekends when we didn't compete. And so I think the coaches always knew this kid was just so pure about rugby. It's rugby, 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 rugby. And I always got asked all these questions. And so eventually I bumped into Brett Bell, who plays lock for us at the Heskett. He was doing some volleyball practice, and he saw me with a rugby ball. And he's like, hey, man, I see you have a rugby ball. Do you play? I was like, no, I can't. I run track. He's like, oh, you should come out. I was like, well, I would love to, but I can't play. You know, like I'm under contract. I really can't
Yeah.
out. We have a blithering idiot policy on our track team.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, just
Blithering idiot.
Don't be stupid and go
Yeah.
play intramural sports. You know. So I was like, I don't know. And eventually I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna show up at practice and introduce myself. And yeah, it's when I met all of you guys. I came out and I was like, maybe there's a loophole around this. Maybe I can get involved without actually getting super involved. And so, yeah, I was at practices, but I could never do contact.
Yeah.
So there's the blithering idiot policy was in check. I never actually participated, but I was hanging out at practices and yeah, trying to help out where I can.
Yeah, I feel like I remember one time where one of us like stepped on your foot and you're like, oh dude, oh my god.
Yeah.
And you're like writhing in pain for a while and we're like, dude, what did we just do? We just ruined this guy's senior track career.
No,
I don't know if that happened or not. I'm pretty sure it did.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
I'm sure it did. But then
Yeah.
again, I mean,
Hey, we're here now.
everything worked out fine. As soon as I graduated, I was with the boys. So just jumped straight back into track. Yeah, I would have loved to keep doing track. But I think my body just reached its stages where it's like you need to compete at a high level. You need your body to feel really good to keep training as hard as you possibly can if you want to run these types of times. And the last few years, I just had so many lingering injuries with my Achilles and my hamstring and my lower back. And so a lot of these things just added up to me being like, well, I think I need to take a break from track and I'll start playing rugby. And then started playing rugby. I'm not going back to track.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it too much. Now I can finally just go do what I've wanted to do for the last 8 years. It's the last time I played. So yeah, now I finally can get all that piled up energy out.
Adrenaline. Dude.
Yeah, all that
Yeah.
fantasy. Oh man, if I was on that field.
Oh my gosh.
Funny stuff. No, it's just kidding. But yeah, I definitely was counting the days to where I could play a game of rugby again, for sure.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't over. That chapter wasn't over in my life, but I had to go pursue other stuff and try it and test the waters. before I can make that decision. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Devin, what you got?
Yeah. So what is the chemistry and kind of the vibe, the difference between playing rugby here compared to back in like South Africa?
Yeah. So I'm just going to relate this to high school. That's the last time I played. And I remember when I was playing, there's just, we thrive off discipline back home. That's one thing that's very big. Even in the school system, you would go to school. I went to public school. It's uniform. Your hair can't be a certain length. It can't be this short. You have to be shaved every single day. If you don't wear the right uniform, you get written up and you have detention. I mean, that's just how it is back home. So we have big discipline as part of our culture. And so with that said, that flows into rugby. Discipline is a big factor of our culture. So you never show up late for practice, or you never even attempt not to show up to a game. It's just not going to work. And so there's just this unity, but you're fostered into it essentially. I mean, it's not a bunch of guys. I miss a camaraderie. I'm going to join this rugby team. I saw them, at a bar crawl once or something like that. It's
Whoa, that seemed oddly specific.
Well, no,
There you go.
it's a different. You get a different mindset from the start. You get guys that are playing for a legacy, for a jersey. I mean, for some of these boys to play in a certain high school jersey, that means just as much as playing in a national jersey. That's just the mindset that some of these guys have. And so there's a level of competitiveness throughout. And so if you don't want to be a part of that competitiveness, and if you don't have the skills for it, I mean, there's a B team, C team, D team sometimes that you can go play for if you're not that serious. I don't want to show up to practice. I'll just play for that team. And I had friends like that. They didn't want to make a living out of rugby. They didn't want to play high-level rugby. So they played, second team, third team for just the vibes. It was just fun. And so I think that it's just hard to compare that to what we have, because we are seeing better numbers at our team, and we are having a good group of guys show up. And I think we've definitely made this mind switch of, man, we could win our league. We could really outperform these guys. We have all the talent. We have the facilities. We have everything we need. And so I think now there's a big switch of, it's more about playing to win instead of just playing to enjoy a beer after the game with your friends, even though that is a big part of the game. And that's everywhere. I mean, if you look at the rugby back home, it is such a big part of the game, is this camaraderie and this friendship and building bonds with people over the years. The stories that get passed down from rugby tours and certain games. And I still, even though I did 8 years of track, some of the best stories I told were some of the stories that I made when, I had this rugby tour with the boys when I was 16, Those are just memories that'll stay with you for life. And that's just what rugby does. And no other sport really does that. It creates this brotherhood among a group of guys. And you go in and you try and be as aggressive as you possibly can for 80 straight minutes, and then you leave it on the pitch and you walk away and you're a bunch of friends. I mean,
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
We hope so. There's some sour grapes every now and then.
Yeah.
But
in comparison to American sports, my dad was shocked when he saw the teams even come together after the game.
yeah,
No one
It's
does
really
that.
great. Yeah.
that is.
You
yeah.
shake hands and you leave.
And go
Yeah,
have
and that's-
beers.
Well, yeah,
And
not
then-
in you leave once you're done with the basketball game, American football game. You're done. We're not talking to each other.
Yeah.
It is.
We
it
played
is.
our game and now we're done. But now
I've seen that firsthand. I've played a good amount of golf here in the U.S. and back home in South Africa. It's once you finish your round of golf, then there's another, few more holes at the bar waiting
Yeah.
to just, you shake each other's hand. You might go put your clubs away, but then you go sit and you have a drink, even if you have a glass of water. It doesn't matter. But there's always that
or
little
Diet Mountain Dew.
or Diet Mountain Dew. We're pushing.
Are we
for
getting
that.
sponsorship yet?
We're pushing for that. There is that camaraderie back home with most sports, And so here in the U.S., I see that. I've played around in golf, and it's you make your last putt, you turn around, and the guy you played with is already at his car. And so you're like, oh, he's just going to put his clubs away. No, he left. He's like, oh, we're done. So that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I don't know. But it's a different culture. Like you said, there's no bad intentions behind it. It's just how, certain people are raised and fostered into this sporting world. You guys also get really aggressive on a like not on a rugby pitch, but obviously, but on a basketball court or other places, you get really aggressive and in someone's face, and then you kind of just brush it off. They don't actually mean it. Now, I will say, if you did that back home at any sport, it's probably going to become a fight really quick. So that's one thing where I'm like still trying to figure out the mindset behind that, which is really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it varies from sport to sport, for sure.
Yeah.
But also from country to country, like you said. And one of the things that we really respect about you and we're looking forward to is seeing the growth of the college team that you just started and trying to bridge some of those, I don't want to say continental barriers, but trying to instill some of the culture that from back home into rugby here. And it's tough. Can you talk about like some of the cool things and challenges that you have when just starting this college club?
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I started a rugby club for WSU. The whole thought behind it is I think we really missed a hurdle. We have a middle school program that's really excelling, and we're getting kids out there that, I'm not even gonna play football. I'm just gonna play rugby, and so that's really, really big. And you have the high school, which is performing at a high level. I mean, they're ranked now.
Yeah.
And then we have men. We don't have that college team. We don't have that bridge in between. Unfortunately, not every 18-year-old is 6'5" and weighing 250 pounds and can play against guys like you guys, And a lot of kids quit the sport. They're like, I'm not ready to play against grown men. I'm still only 18. And so that's a problem we have. And another thing is there's other places around us that offer that. And so a lot of our boys graduate high school, and instead of staying local and getting a degree here in Wichita, they go to different states and go play rugby there. And who knows, they might never come back because then they get drafted by them. They love it there. And we essentially, we do the whole process of developing these young rugby players just for it to kind of die out. And so that's kind of the thought behind it, is if we can get a program here that'll help keep them local and eventually they'll go through that and then feed through to the men's team, Wichita will become this rugby hub essentially, and it'll be one of the bigger places. And with the World Cup coming up, you guys are hosting it in 2031, that's what you want. I mean, that's going to draw crowds. Who knows, they might build a rugby stadium in your city next. You never know. I mean, it just has to grow. So that's the thought behind it. Now that is, again, we're shooting for the moon there.
Yeah.
It's way easier said than done.
Culture building is tough.
Building is tough, and just getting new faces out until that feeding system is in place, getting new people out to start building a brand for WSU rugby is hard. Most students they don't know what rugby is. Mm-hmm. They don't know how it works. They kind of look at a few highlights and they're like, I'm okay. Okay, there's no pads. I don't know. That scares me.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do. It's hard to invite people out and be like, hey, it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
And you're going to make friends for life. It's part of the sport. And so we're struggling with numbers right now. We're really trying to reach out and get students engaged and get students to just come out and try it or just come and watch it, And so we have a few guys that are every week, they're there, they have boots, they're ready to go,
Yeah.
But it's hard. I mean, we need to build a good enough roster to eventually get funding, to eventually start playing. And so there's all these little steps in place, but the very first one is just getting some students out there to come and try the sport. So right now we're really grabbing at everything we can.
Yeah.
And trying to I'm putting out flyers pretty much every few weeks, brand new flyers out around, and running a social media and just doing all this stuff right now all by myself to try and save as much money as we can before we bring someone on board and it's something that doesn't develop much, or there's not a lot of interest actually.
Yeah.
So right now it's tough. That's kind of the hardest part right now. Eventually, I think when we get the group of guys out there, we can start building a culture that people will look at from the outside and be like, wow, I want to be part of that. You know?
Yeah.
That looks great. They look like they have a good time. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with the college team.
Yeah, because all you need is just like a solid core, and you can grow from that. Because even in our podcast that we had with the women's team, we were talking with them and how they, at one point, were just like 5 or 6 members, and now they're having numbers that are rivaling the guys 20, 30 plus. And so just having that core impact. And you really brought up something that was kind of hit the nail on the head about how we have these great programs with like even the youth with the flag and middle school and high school and men's and women's team performing so well that there is that little avenue that we are missing out on. So I really do hope that, things really do improve and we can get the college team started and really just kind of keep feeding the system, because we have something that's very special here, because I think that a lot of people don't realize that in our city, in all of us, under the Wichita Rugby Foundation, that's something that not many cities have. Like they have these different programs, but they're not all attached to each other like we are, where we all work together. So
Shout out Wichita Rugby Foundation.
yes.
Yep. Add another logo on that ball.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Move it around.
We got,
But since
Valkyries,
we
we got
are
everything.
on the subject,
and we got.
what would you give us like an elevator pitch for somebody who might be watching this podcast who doesn't know too much about rugby, or just kind of, potentially interested, they clicked on the video because, want to learn more about you, want to learn more about rugby.
No, they just saw your beard and they're like, oh,
No,
I don't listen to that
look at this
dude.
guy. He's got it before.
Yeah, everybody.
Both of you.
Yeah.
for me.
You're missing out.
They're clicking off because of me. We
Yes.
found our problem. I'm turning away now.
No, absolutely. It's right there, right? That's the
Yes,
camera.
yes. Give us an elevator pitch.
This is for No, really. Rugby is a sport that it's dynamic and it has a position for everyone. That's what I love about rugby. Whether you're the smallest guy on the pitch or whether you're the biggest guy in the classroom, there's a position for every single person in rugby. And I think that's what really makes it special. And so if you are a student right now listening to this and you're like, all I'm doing is classes, and then I go home and I sit and play video games and I'm really bored, or I feel like I need to work out. I stopped doing this sport because it just, I fell out of love for it. If that's you, just try it. The worst you can do is try it and say, I don't really like it, or it's not for me. But if that's you and you really want to just get outside again, or meet new friends again, or try something new, try a new sport, just come out and try it just once. Just come out to a practice, even if you're just sitting on the side and watching, or if you want to come watch a game, if the men's or the high school is playing or the women's team is playing, and you're like, let me go see what rugby kind of looks like, come out to a game, come watch a game, come watch half of a game if you have to, and just see. I mean, you won't know what you like or don't like until you try it. And so that's kind of my pitch is don't hate on something until you haven't actually tried it, because you might actually end up loving it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's like the funny thing is that literally everybody that we've had on the podcast, when they're talking about rugby, they're just like, try it. And, it's so true, because it's such a great experience. And it's one of those things that is so hard to put into words. But when you're just out there and you come and you are around the guys, and it's just that energy that you just can't put it into words. So.
Yeah, for me, I came for the juice. Like, I came for that competitive energy again, and then you stick around for the boys,
That's exactly what it is.
It's going to happen to everyone who comes out and tries it. Not everyone. But if
it's a good
the majority
fit
of
for you.
people do come out, we're gonna get a good program here at Wichita State. And I'd love to see that.
Bridge that gap.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're clipping that, sending it to everyone, and
Yeah, I mean, here we go. We got
recruitment numbers.
Boom.
Boom.
There we go. Solved.
Oh yeah. Let's go. That's what we do in the podcast. All right, where are we at?
Well, okay, so we talked about the college rugby and everything, and the big plans with that. But what are some of your big plans? What are your future goals? We can talk about rugby first, and then we can touch base maybe on something else.
Yeah. So it was my first year back, getting back into it, and I was track fit. I wasn't conditioned for rugby whatsoever. It's a very separate type of fitness and conditioning that you need. It's physical, and it's a lot of repetitive runs. So believe it or not, even though I may have done track, I am so tired on a rugby pitch. It is disgusting. Sometimes I just think, what am I doing? Why am I not running every morning at 5 a.m.? Why am I not running miles and miles to get more fit? Yeah, but yeah, this is my first year. It's tough. Trying to just get back into it, get my resume built up a little bit, and see what maybe the U.S. has something in store, whether that's joining some club somewhere else or eventually playing at a regional team, or anything that I can kind of gear towards the next step of rugby. That would be awesome. But again, that's easier said than done. Those avenues, I feel like, haven't been discovered as much through our team, so it's hard. There's not really someone I can call up and be like, hey, how'd you make it to MLR, you know? So trying to figure that out, playing at a high level is definitely easier said than done, and not saying I could walk into a team. That's not at all. Like I said, I have a lot of work that I need to get done. This year I'm kind of just seeing where is my bar and where does it have to be for me to take that next step, and where do I go? Who do I ask? Who do I try and play for around here? Stuff like that. So also, hopefully I get to play a little bit of sevens this year. I've never played sevens in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So sevens was kind of a little bit new still in schools whenever I was in high school, and they only introduced it once we graduated. They introduced the sevens program. And so it was still something that not a lot of kids had access to. I think at a club level you could, but with my schedule with track and golf and actual school, I didn't have time to go join an external rugby club. So I've never played sevens. I'm super excited to play sevens. I feel like that is a type of game style I can slot into really well.
Oh yeah, you're gonna dominate.
But like I said, I have no idea. I actually have
I know.
no
He's
idea.
gonna dominate. I
So hopefully in the summer we can play a few good sevens tournaments and test those waters potentially. Yeah. So right now, very unsure. That's pretty much the bottom line. Just keep head down and keep playing games and getting minutes under the belt and seeing where I can improve and see where the bar is and where I want it to be.
Yeah.
So,
which is crazy because I feel like he's downplaying himself a little bit, because even though this is his first year back, he's like every other match, he is the man of the match. Like, it's pretty much when we do the end of the season, like, little post about man of the match, we're just going to see JD.
You scroll down the Instagram and like every
it's just going to be, So, just really excited to see if this is just you just getting your toes wet and dipping your toes back into it, like, once you really put your mind to it, where it's going to take you, because you're already a great player. So
I really appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
I'm just spitting the facts. Like,
no, those are kind words. I'm just grateful for the opportunity that I can play rugby. So that's kind of just where I'm at. If I can do sport, that's been my whole life, it's what I love to do, then I'm definitely going to do it. And so being able to play rugby and be a part of your guys' team and have an influence on that, it just makes me grateful for the day that I can't do that anymore,
Yeah.
The day when I can't play sport.
There will come a day.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
But speaking of grateful and love and different things like that. Any other future plans?
Dipping things. That's great.
What a segue.
That's a great segue. No,
Oh my gosh.
I said sport partially keeps me here. I did meet someone during my time at WSU doing track. She is probably my biggest supporter on and off the pitch. You guys can definitely attest to that. She is always there. Faith is phenomenal. She'll support me if whatever I want to do. If I wanted to quit doing this and go do something else, she'll be there. She'll pick it up and she'll figure it out. And so that's kind of what she's done with our team. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw them next to the pitch on Saturday, but they had cardboard cutouts of our faces.
Yeah, you didn't see that? Like,
I
yeah.
missed that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
that's
like
so
four of
awesome.
them.
Crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
That's so awesome.
It's crazy. She loves running out my tee when I'm going to kick. She finds so much joy in just running that tee in a bottle of water and be like, yeah, good job. And I love that too. I mean, I can really just be like, okay, I can calm down now, everything's okay. And so faith's a really big part of my life, and I feel like maybe I would have not been here anymore if I graduated and didn't meet her. I probably would have gone home already, just because she's still wrapping up. She has another season of track, and she's wrapping her degree, and she'll have all that figured out now come shortly. So with that said, I've known her for almost 5 years now, and I'm extremely lucky. I'm one of the few lucky guys that met someone doing sport, doing something that we're both passionate about. And so hopefully come soon she will become my wife, dude. Hopefully I get to propose.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Heard it here first. Before anyone else. Hopefully this airs late.
This is the first proposal drop we've had.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
Good. Yeah,
Dude.
so hopefully she sticks around then, and I'll force her to stick around so she has to be at more games,
Yeah.
shout out to my birthday twin, but
Oh, yeah.
she is just dedicated, because I remember a couple of games ago where she had her own meet and she rushed from her meet, from her track meet, because she's D1 track star as well, rushed from her meet just to come and watch the second half of your game. And so
Yeah.
she is just the epitome of just dedication.
Being
and
faithful.
Yes.
No, really, they had a track meet at Emporia, and the team is really strict, and it's not really just the team. It's not like the head coaches are like, no, you can't do this or that. I mean, I think it's NCAA policy. If you travel to a track meet, you have to travel with them back, unless you have like a written letter from your parents that you give in prior. And then so like I would never be able to, because my parents aren't here in the U.S. So I always had to go with the bus. Doesn't matter if it's my roommate I live with or whoever leaves early from a track meet. And so her parents drove up to come watch her run at Emporia, and I had zero idea. I had no idea. Really thought I was gonna see her maybe at the social after, and I look over and thought I heard a certain voice. And I was like, there's no way. I look over and I just see her in her full track uniform still on, just standing next to the pitch, and I was like, how are you? This makes no sense. She's like, yeah, my mom came through and she talked to the head coach and got me out of it, and I drove home with her. We rushed back, and so her mom literally drove her to her car that's parked on campus, and she just hopped in her car and drove straight to South Lakes to watch us play. So yeah, there's no one that supports me more than she does, except my mom is up there. I'm a big mommy's boy. Yeah, my mom definitely is definitely up there as well. She plays a big influence. So between those two girls, they keep me going, for
That's
sure.
awesome, dude. Yeah, amazing to have that kind of support in your life. It's amazing.
Lucky, I'm very lucky.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, beautiful, man. Beautiful. Thanks for dropping that inspirational message about Faith.
Yeah.
And,
She deserves it, man.
Yeah.
She deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. She was there from the first time you betrayed your track coaches.
She was.
Wasn't she, in that super cold practice?
She grabs a lawn chair and sits next to the field and watches us practice.
Yeah.
Crazy. Who
Yeah.
does that?
Faith does.
Yeah, she
Faith
does.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna get to know everyone real quick.
Yeah.
She loves it, man. She really, even, and again, just this reiterates what we said earlier. She doesn't even play rugby, but that's what rugby does.
Yeah.
You know, it just draws these people. Once you try it, once you just come out and just come have a look, it's like, wow, this is cool. I want to be a part of this. This is awesome. You know, so shout out Faith.
Shout out, man.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out Faith.
Well, shoot. Bring a man to tears, man. But we gotta finish. We got a podcast finish, you know,
Yeah.
and we got a few more rugby topics to touch on, especially talking about that World Cup coming up,
Oh yeah.
you know, and that South Africa has been doing pretty good at those,
Yeah, we have.
you know. So we want to hear what your Mount Rushmore of South African rugby players looks like.
Forever, or right now.
It's just
Mount Rushmore
is
Ever.
yeah,
Top 4.
Yeah. Just who comes to your mind?
Full lineup,
Oh, we
or just top 5.
want to go for full lineup.
No. Top
We'll
5.
put the graphic up there. Thanks, Luke, for doing that in advance.
Yeah. We'll go top 5. Oh. Just how far back do we want to go? I think let's start recent, just
Yeah.
because it's such a. For personal reasons, I'm gonna put Malcolm Marks up there. I've known Malcolm for a few years. He actually lived not too far away, and he was a big influence that kind of got me potentially to the U.S., to be honest. He donated one of his jerseys to my golf day that we raffled off, and that raised funds for me to go run in Europe.
Oh, wow.
So Malcolm's up there. Maybe just really biased, but
He's also really good at rugby.
he is. I'm biased. I'm very biased. He's the world's best hooker by far. But that's going to upset some people. But that's a fact. Malcolm's up there. I think you have to put... We'll go back, way back. We'll put Donnie Gerber, who was a back in the early stages of our rugby before we won the World Cup, you know. We'll put Donnie Gerber up there. So Malcolm, Donnie. I think you have to put Ibn Etzebeth up there. I mean, he's the most capped Springbok ever. That says a lot. That
Dude's a beast.
yeah, he's the enforcer. He took over he had some big shoes to fill from Bakis Bueta, who was, you know, in his position prior, and he stepped up and filled those shoes comfortably. We never really missed that position, so put Yeben up there. And then with that said, I think a guy that goes under the radar a lot and is, in my opinion, the world's best rugby player is Pieter Stef de Tooy. I mean, he's the counterpart with Yeben. He enforces and, you know, I mean, to be honest, making 28 tackles in a World Cup final against New Zealand is pretty much, you would say, impossible. But that, not soft tackles.
No.
You know, like
I was just watching the
Jordy
replay.
Barrett laying there on the ground in pain, you know?
Yeah.
So I would go those 4 and then one more.
I have an idea, but I don't know if you're going to say it or not.
I have an idea, but it's recent biased. That's all it is. It's just living in today's day and time, and it's someone that I don't think we would have had this position where we are right now if it wasn't for him, is Andre Pollard. I mean, slotting over kicks and winning with 1 point, that's the make or break, you know, and that could have... What if he didn't make that kick? What if he never came back and didn't make that kick and we didn't win the quarterfinal? We would have just been like every single Irish fan. You know? So I think the Iceman is up there, man. He's got to be.
Dang, dude, yeah. That's a legendary Mount Rushmore right there.
Yeah, it's recent biased. I genuinely think there's some older players from the older generation that played it was a different brand of rugby, so it's really hard to compare them. It's one that I didn't see as much growing up. I mean, I am young, I'm 23, so I really only saw more of the recent stuff. And so I think there is a lot of older players, the older generation, that played that had a big influence on the style of rugby we play today. But it was just a different brand of rugby, and it's hard to compare them. And I feel like that's kind of the conversation when people talk about, you know, LeBron versus Michael Jordan. It's a different brand. I mean, what are we comparing titles? Are we comparing?
Well, if you are, this team's got 2, so you know, 2 World Cups. So pretty good.
So yeah, that's my top 5, I would say.
Hey,
on the spot.
That's pretty good.
Put me on the spot.
Off the dome, dude. That's what we do here at Turtleneck Tabletalk.
Honorable mention is Cheslin Colby's up there.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
That's what you wanted to hear.
I didn't want to hear it. I just thought you were going to say it.
That's what you thought.
Well, continuing on inspiration, since we talked about it through South Africa, let's bring it back local. And who is somebody on the team that inspires you besides us? Because obviously, I mean, that goes without saying. So who would be somebody on the Barbarians team that inspires you?
Yeah, I would.
Might take a little bit longer to think about it.
No, there's a few guys. I really, whenever I feel tired and I feel like I don't want to show up to practice today. I don't feel good. I kind of have a runny nose, or it was a long day at work. There's a few guys that I'm like, he's gonna show up and he's gonna come train hard, and he's gonna actually make a difference. And hopefully, when I play next to him on the pitch on Saturday, I'm comfortable. I know I'll be comfortable playing next to him because I know he puts in the work. I know he's dedicated to the sport as much as I am. And so there's a few people that are in that range. And one guy I really want to give a big shout out to is Chris. Chris is a guy that is fairly new to the sport. He plays outside center. He takes criticism like a champ. If you tell him, hey man, why'd you do this? Do this. He's not going to be like, oh, what are you talking about? I did this because of this and this and this. He just takes it and says, okay, yeah, I'll do it. I'll figure it out. So shout out Chris. He has a work rate. I try to show up to practice early every time to work on some personal skills and put in some extra time because I'm limited on what I can do during the day. Chris is always there early with me. And he's always one of the first guys there. And I really respect that. He's a guy that has his own personal stories, and hopefully one day you guys can get him on the podcast because he has some. I know his story and where he's come from and kind of why he does what he does. But to have that mindset and have this mentality coming into rugby, brand new guys, and just open to learning, open to I don't know it, teach me, always. I really respect that, and so. Shout out to Chris. I love Chris, man.
Dude, he's had some absolute moments in the past few games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Workhorse.
Yeah, dude. I just remember he was about a D2 duck, tripped the guy running up on him against Omaha. That was hilarious.
I don't know if it was.
The dude stopped immediately, backed off, and he was like,
I don't know if it was
he didn't want this
Blues or Grizzlies, but he came around on cross defense from the other side of the field, right? I just look over and I just see Chris coming flying, dude. And this guy, he hit the guy. The guy's through. And you just see Chris. Like, the guy takes 2 steps into space and he's gone. And you just see Chris coming right from the side, just smashes him. And I'm like, where did you come from?
Yeah.
I was on the pitch on Saturday, and Chris can contest to this. This game that we just played against Omaha, I'm standing there on the pitch. I am tired, man. My hands on my knees. I just ran the ball, just made a few tackles. And he's like, you good? I was like, no, man, I'm really tired. He's like, I got you. Move back. And just takes my space and tells me to just take a breather. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Thank you, man. And that's kind of, that's a work rate. That's I feel really comfortable playing next to a guy like that has this mindset of, you're losing 1%. I'll pick up 2%. Love that, and that's kind of that's the mentality I really hope to have on the pitch as well, and kind of have you guys feel that same way. Is, you know, if I'm tired, hopefully he can help me out, and that's what we need. And not everyone's going to be 100% every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And so some people are going to take a hit and get injured, or some people are just going to be really tired. You know, they just tackled 10 times in a row. Hopefully someone can step up and be like, hey, I got you. And everyone's comfortable in doing that. So, and I think that shows. I mean, Chris comes to, like I said, comes to practice early, and he puts in the work.
He's the man.
Yeah.
He is, dude.
He's the man. Christopher Fuentes.
Yes,
I just wanted to
yes.
say Christopher Fuentes. Good deal, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
inspiring to hear as well.
Yeah.
Do we want to finish those last few?
I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Rapid fire. If the Barbarians had a walkout song, what would it be?
Dire Straits.
Dire Straits.
Money for Nothing.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. Something with rock, dude. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Follow up. Where can people follow you / Wichita State Rugby?
Yeah. Wichita State Rugby. We have a Facebook and an Instagram page. It is wsu.rugby. And then if you wouldn't mind showing some love on those. And then my personal page is just JD_Prinslo on Instagram, on X, and then just JD Prinslo on Facebook as well. So,
Which there's been some quality content being put on there. So
There is.
shout outs to you. Yeah, you've been up and.
it's
Yeah.
not me, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Well, whoever.
We've had these photographers come out and take awesome
Yes.
pictures. And
Shout
they just
out to our photographers.
send me an invite to collaborate, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, accept. And it's an awesome post. I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is great. Yeah, so I'm not going to take full credit for that. Definitely not. But yeah, the photographers coming out. And that's another thing I really want to just throw in there. Those types of things really go a long way, because a lot of people see that. You know, they see a guy playing rugby and they're like, wow, that looks cool. Let me come out. So for all the people that do the work behind the scenes, the marketing for our team, and the photographers that come out in the blistering cold on Saturday, that means a lot. It goes a long way, and it's not unnoticed, I promise.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And you kind of touched base on it, but is there any other ways that the community can help support?
Oh, just if you can't come out to games, if you're limited and you can't come and watch, react to posts, leave comments, share it. You know, small little things that don't cost anyone money or energy. Those things go a long, long, long way. And if you can come out, bring a lawn chair, bring the kids, come enjoy some rugby. It's a good day. We try and make it a fun day every time it's a home meet or a home event. We try and line it up with the high schools so that there's more than just one game to come out and watch. So, yeah, just come out and support.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well said.
Well, yeah. Well, thank you for being on the podcast today and for sharing your story and, more importantly, your heart. It's been very insightful getting to learn more about your journey, and you've made a big impact on the team, and with just your leadership and just you just being the amazing player, but the amazing person that you are. And I hope that you know that you have helped change the team for the better. And I know that you're going to do great things with the Wichita State team because you have been so solid. And so really excited to see what the future holds. So once again, guys, make sure and follow and check out some stuff because there's a lot of big things, a lot of forward momentum going for Wichita Rugby and all the different programs. And we're just excited that we can highlight all these incredible individuals and organizations.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
Yes. So make sure if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe and leave a like and leave comments down below as always. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Turtleneck Table Talk.